Well, have you noticed that everyone is autistic?
Yeah.
Like, out of all the dads I know, I'm just off the top of my head, I would say maybe 5% or more have one kid who's an issue.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that way when I was a kid. And there wasn't as much abortion when I was a kid. There'd be a couple Down syndromes hanging around. But like, there's always that one son who's just like,
One of the big problems.
I think it's having kids late.
Well, not only is that a big problem, but it's also birth control hormones.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Birth control hormones, they f women's bodies up really badly and do long-term damage that I still don't think they really have a good grasp
I
on
think
how
you're
bad.
right. I think they were designed to be like a couple years of college. Mm-hmm. But women are taking them from 16 to 30.
Yeah. I just got off the pill that I've been on for 16 years regulating my hormones.
Lying to my body for 16 years.
And now it has to actually produce the stuff it's supposed to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a problem.
Yeah. Have you heard this theory that it tells a woman's body she's pregnant? Mm-hmm. So she doesn't want to be around someone who's going to fuck her. She wants a man around, but a non-sexual, so a buddy, like a brother. So they end up with these beta males, effeminate guys who pose no sexual threat. Then they marry that guy. Mm-hmm. Then they go off their birth control and they're repulsed by him.
They go fuck Chad.
Yeah, and they say he smells different. Mm-hmm. Like they're completely revolted by their husband because he's a
Yeah, one of the worst, he is, and that's exactly what he is. Well, one of the worst things about this, and there is some truth to this, to what you're saying, often it is the case that if hormone regulations in a woman change, right, they become completely repulsed by whoever it was that they chose initially. And yeah, of course, birth control is going to contribute enormously to that. But women's mental health, especially, when they're always like, women didn't used to be like this, where they were all fucking crazy, where they were so irrational that even having a conversation with one was next to impossible. Well, imagine frying your brain with birth control for years of your life. It literally makes you batshit crazy. Women's hormones make them insane. If it's not through natural regulation, all you have to do is look at one when they're on their period, and their hormones go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They become irrational lunatics for like 5 days, and then they go right back to normal.
Right.
But it's like, that's why there's so much mental illness with women.
Yeah, well, I also think it's, they're out of their element, you know?
Yeah.
So they're faking. And you see that on that whatever podcast all the time. These women are posturing like they debate for a living. And I think I've seen 3 different girls start crying and just leave because they're not in their element.
Make them cry all the time. But the thing is funny is...
Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
And hello, I am Gavin McInnes.
Together, we're Compound Censored.
And we'd like you to subscribe to our network that has more fantastic content you could shake a stick at. Use this promo code for a one-time super offer.
Do it. It's uncensored and oh so entertaining.
Brian, he's it's his show, and he has, he has him in all the time, and he's just like, he'll call me sometimes, and he goes, what the fuck, dude? Like, how, where does this all, like, is there any end? There's no end, right? There's no end because there's so many now who can just go at, 19 years old, get on camera, bend over, open their ass cheeks and show the world their butthole and just have tons of money sent to them by these simps. That's how do you convince a woman
will give you what
making $50,000 a month to just bend over and show her asshole to stop doing that? How could I do that?
Especially when there's no stigma.
There's none. In fact, I'll talk to him and say, you can watch episode after episode of me saying, what does your dad think?
That's what I always think.
Yeah, but I've asked so many of them, what does your dad think about you sucking men's cock on the internet for money?
Yeah.
Doesn't your dad walk in and say, stop being a fucking...
I always say the same thing. They say he's a fan. He loves it.
Yeah, he loves it. He tells me, you're daddy's little girl, and I'm so happy for you that you're making this money. And I'll tell him, I'm like, your dad's a piece of fucking shit.
He's a fucking
Tell your fucking
loser.
dad to call me. Tell your fucking dad to call me so I can say, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Are you retarded? Go, well, I can't do it. Dude, stop being a bitch and go in there and tell her, you can't suck, honey. You're bringing shame to the family name.
I haven't been to a strip club in 17 years
Good.
since my daughter was born, because I just see dads on stage. And I just think of him, he's probably got a 40 somewhere.
Yeah.
He hasn't been around, and I just think, you fucking loser. That's your daughter up on stage.
No, and they don't care. They don't care. And I'll ask them, you know what? My mom actually gives me more pushback than my dad. Your mother gives you more pushback than your father? You get fucked up your asshole on the internet on OnlyFans, and your dad's like, you gotta make that money, honey.
Yeah, that'll always be there. Mom, how come you had so much money when you were 20? I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be there forever.
Well, I've asked some of them who have kids. I'm like, what happens when little Johnny comes over and he's like, hey, my friend Chuck, he just showed me, you getting urinated on by 5 guys. Mom, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's this?
And that's 100% happening.
It's happening all over the place.
No way.
Right? And then they kicked my ass and they took my lunch money and called you a whore. And you are. And you are.
It's accurate.
They were correct.
Yeah, you
are objectively a fucking prostitute. So they're not even wrong. What's the defense, Mom? What's the defense? And the thing is, they don't fucking care. They're so self-interested. They don't give a shit. And it's a simpocalypse. It's a true simpocalypse.
And I think we all have to take some blame for it too. Like, that chick.
I'm not taking any blame for it.
Shani Kane. We were talking about her the other day, the chick with dreads with the nose rings, and she's like, I'm a herbalist.
Oh, yeah.
Like her baby daddy went to prison right after the baby was born, and she couldn't make ends meet as a single mom, and she ended up doing OnlyFans. So, as a society, I feel there's some culpability there. I don't, in a way, I don't blame her. Going from 2 shitty jobs, Arby's and Costco, to tons of money being a whore.
I think that's the wrong way to look at it, though. Let me kind of counter that a little bit. If you're looking through it through that frame, and you're like, look, society's not taking care of its single moms. Maybe not, but women are the gatekeepers of sex, not men. We'll fuck anything, right? We'll fuck anything. If it's last call at the bar and all that's there, right, is the nasty bar skank. Well, you're going home with me.
Oh, okay? Those are usually the best ones. Though.
Maybe, but we will. They're the gatekeepers of sex.
Yeah.
They can reject men from having sex with them, and they do it all the time. They're well trained at this. Okay,
right. This
is their thing.
Yeah.
So if you're caught being a single mother, okay, it's your fucking fault. You fucked up because you were always the gatekeeper of sex to begin with. You fucked up, and you do have to take responsibility. And there's many who say, look, I did fuck up. I have to change things around, and great. I'm happy to see that. Great, fantastic. And you didn't kill your kids. That's even better. But the what about the men-do argument? What about the men? Isn't it really the men? No, it's really not the men. The women are the ones who are the gatekeepers. They're the access keepers of sex. And all they have to do is what they've done traditionally for thousands of years and close their fucking legs. It's not that hard.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But this might be too personal, but didn't your wife marry a douche?
Yeah, but she's responsible, right, for the choice that she made, the marriage that she made. She comes out publicly and tells young women the same thing.
I'm
totally responsible, not for what happened to me, but for the choices that I made, which led to the results of this happening to me.
Was her first husband always a loser, or did he go down
he was a dirtbag, and he lied to her, right? All that. But still, the ultimate responsibility lies on her for the choice that she made, you know what I mean? And there's no getting around that. But when people recognize that they've made a bad decision and that they're culpable for the bad decision, they rectify it, nobody gives them pushback. They're like, you know what, great, you fucked up, you moved past it, nobody really cares. It's only when they're like, I'm a helpless victim, this just happened to me, this penis came out of nowhere and inserted itself in me and got me pregnant through no fault of my own, that's when people are like, no, let's maybe reevaluate this and just notate that promiscuity in women, generally speaking, really, really, really bad. Even one bad decision, like my wife's not promiscuous, not even close, right? If you were to take, well, I guess I won't get into all that, but yeah, not even close. Some of these women have had sex with, more men than my wife's ever been with in 2 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's disturbing. And
Yeah.
it's not natural for them. They don't enjoy it. I don't think it's natural for anyone. Like Motley Crue on tour for their second album, fucking like 5 chicks a night. That's a gay lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's a miserable lifestyle.
Yeah.
There's no joy in that.
Yeah, well, I always ask these
pathetic.
women, like, if I were to create a world where every man you had sex with, okay, you had a kid, no matter what. Every new man you had sex with. If I applied that rule to my wife, she'd have less children now, okay, less children than she currently has. How many would you have?
500.
Right. Enough where you could swim to the top of this room through the babies, right?
It'd be a zombie apocalypse movie.
Well, but the thing is like no culpability. My wife's first one to tell you. Totally culpable. I made terrible decisions. I had shit parents. They gave me the bad advice. They let me move in with my boyfriend at 16, right? Fucking insane. Fucking insane. They're hippie boomer dumbasses, okay? Free love, all this bullshit. But ultimately, now that...
Are you friends with them?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, one of them. Because, they're all divorced, right?
Right, yeah.
They're all divorced, all a mess, but,
They invented divorce, the boomers.
Yeah, I've talked with her dad, and he's like, yeah, it was stupid. It's fucking stupid. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck you were thinking either. But she's right. Now, then, when, she's 16, right? Parents have a little bit of culpability there.
Absolutely.
But external there.
16 is a child.
Yeah, it is. But external to that, right? Ultimately, women have to be held responsible and stop being infantilized for their decision making. They make stupid fucking decisions sometimes, and we need to point out, look, you made a stupid fucking decision. Stop pretending you didn't. Stop pretending you're a fucking hero because you made a stupid ass decision. Stop it. You fucked up, and it's all right that you fucked up, but now how do you fix the fuck up? That's what we're expected to do. Who's ever come to you and been like, oh, it's okay, Gavin. I know you fucked up, but it's okay. Never happened in your life.
Nope.
Never one time.
No, in fact, it's usually magnified.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know how much you fucked up,
Yeah.
you fucking idiot.
You have no clue.
I don't know. I'm kind of optimistic about where things are going. I know Trump is going to win the election. I've offered to eat a live mouse if he doesn't. That's how sure I am.
He's not gonna. There's no way.
Absolutely landslide. It'll be too big to rig.
No way,
All right, well then I'm eating a mouse.
bro. That's a bit. You really made that bet?
Yeah.
You think they're gonna
It's
let
going to be
Trump?
alive. I'm going to bite its head off, blood everywhere.
You think they're really gonna let him back in? They stole it from him the first time.
Yeah, but they had COVID as a catalyst. They won't have COVID this time. And
What if
They
the
will.
What if the vaccine was all the made them all Manchurian candidates? So they just
they just have
Yeah.
a lever at home.
yeah they just like they got the button. Okay, it's Biden, and they just like when they're in the booth.
Here, this is going to sound terrible, but something went viral on Twitter, and it was like ultimate turn on. It's when she's racist or when she likes Hitler or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was saying that like it's a cool thing if a hot chick likes Hitler. Now, no one literally means I want to gas Jews or whatever by that. What it really means is she's controversial and not uptight and edgy and red-pilled and funny. It's really what it means. If someone says they're racist on Twitter and it's a chick, what she really means is I'm funny and I'm not uptight. And you're seeing a lot more of that, of edgy humor and Twitter. Like Google's gone. You can't look up anything on Google, but you look up Twitter. If the example I always use, there was a stabbing in Ireland, and every time I looked on Google, it was Irish national involved in knife attack. I'm like, what happened? You go to Twitter. He's Syrian. He's been here for a year. here's his face, here's the 8-year-old he stabbed, here's his face, and this is where they lived, and this is what happened. So the news is getting out there. Like when I was a teenager and I heard the Black Wall Street myth about how we burned down Black Wall Street, I didn't have anything to counter that. So I went, oh, turns out we sucked and we burnt down Black Wall Street.
Not really what happened.
Not even close. And now, you know, a 16-year-old gets told that and they can go look it up and see, oh no, it was a race riot based on a sexual assault and a town burned down. So I don't know. I think young people today, and don't they say that 18 to 25s are like 25% conservative, and that hasn't happened since the 80s?
Well, the sex shift is like night and day. So women are overwhelmingly moving more towards progressivism, and young men are moving overwhelmingly towards conservatism.
Oh yeah, I heard that's because of social media, because the algorithm gives you what you want, so you end up more you.
Yeah, well, there's some truth to that. It's also just because
men are smarter.
Yeah, well, and they look around and they're pretty fucking mad. Like they're pretty pissed off. Like, look, this kind of sucks. Why are all these fucking women whores? Why am I in high school at 15 and the captain of the cheerleading squad at 18 has an OnlyFans? That's fucked up.
Yeah.
What a way to ruin your dream. Right? What a way to ruin your perception of reality. Yeah. So yeah, they move over to the right, and now, it's not like it was even 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago. Shows like yours on Censored, all these alternative media platforms, they are actually beginning to finally gain a little bit of steam. They're beginning.
When I was young, we had to exchange fanzines via the mail if you wanted any sort of, alternative anything. And that was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And it was very little. There was like 5, answer me, sewer cunt, fucked. There was like 5 zines that you would exchange, and they came out once a month. Now it's piles of, you couldn't watch all the content on censored.tv to that one network. You'd be watching 6 hours a day. You wouldn't have a life.
Right.
And there's Cozy.
And is it getting bigger or smaller? Getting bigger, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the thing is, the reason it is, YouTube and Twitch and all these places, they don't want politics on YouTube. No fucking way. They want kittens, and they want people with cute nails, and they're doing their cute nails and glitter, and all the bullshit in the world except politics, because politics costs them ad revenue, and nothing else does. Politics controversial, it costs ad revenue. These big companies will pull their ads out of any of these Google algorithms. That'll cost them hundreds of millions of dollars. So they don't give a shit if a creator makes them $1 million to $4 million a year. They don't give a shit. They'll throw them out in a second if it has the potential to cost them one of these big ad revenue players. So they don't want any politics on YouTube. They don't want any politics on any major platform. They're trying to move all that shit off platform. So guys who spearheaded that, who started getting these alternative media sites together ahead of time, they're going to really benefit from that in the next 5-10 years, because it's just going to get worse and worse.
Yeah. So, and it was very hard to make our site. We had to employ hackers and it just went down last week in Canada. I hear British people saying they can't process their credit card payments. So it's a daily hassle to make this thing exist, but it's existing. And I don't know, when I talk to young people, I get inspired. The Zoomers are funnier than me. They are smarter than I was at that age. I feel pretty optimistic about the future.
Yeah, except like 1 in 4, though.
Or whatever they are.
Like, let's take it with a little bit of a grain of salt, right?
Well, it'll be a male lesbian with a woman who identifies as a dude.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, you're a heterosexual couple, by the way, just in case you don't know.
Yeah, in case you didn't know.
Like Gigi Gorgeous, you know her?
Oh.
He has a dick.
I know.
And his wife has a. So he fucks her with his penis. You're heterosexual. Welcome.
Yeah. You just didn't know that.
All aboard.
Yeah, you just didn't know that even if you wear a dress.
You went so gay.
Yeah, then you went back to being straight.
You met us at the base.
Talk about horseshoe theory.
Yeah.
Now it goes with the homos too.
Hi, fellow hetero. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's so funny to me though. I mean, that is the rate, though. It's like 1 in 4 of these Zoomers identifying.
But it's fashion. That's like saying 1 in 4 is goth.
It's women.
Yeah?
It's women. When you look at that 1 in 4 number, you start breaking it down by sex. Guess how much? It's like 70% women.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because we know white people are horrible, and you can't say you're black.
Yeah.
So what do? You say you're trans, and now you're out of the white group.
Right.
And you're
in
not
that other
responsible
group
for slavery or anything. Right. You're an independent, cool person.
Now you're in the other category.
You're absolved of all your sins.
That's right. That's right. Yes, you're good. You have now entered into the transkoomer identity. You're fine. Right this way. What can we get for you?
How do these poor bastards get laid? It just not
they don't.
Laid.
They don't. Haven't you seen the latest polls on men who are virgins? They're calling it the incel crisis because they're not getting laid.
They're jerking off.
Yeah.
To OnlyFans.
Yeah, and they're not getting married young either. So like this is a really bad time to be a young man.
Yeah.
It's a really bad time to be a young man. And I feel like what's happening is the millennials are becoming like the boomers who are just like, give me that shit and fuck them. Fuck that generation coming up.
Yeah.
It's a really bad way to go.
Well, I'm of two minds about it. I get a lot of shit for saying this, but on the one hand, yes, you're right. It is impossible to buy a house. Yes, you are told you suck shit every day. Yes, you're saddled with debt for a useless degree. All of that is true. But at the same time, I'm like, suck it up. Like, try being English in Quebec in your teens. It is not possible to find a job. You could be a bike messenger in the winter. Mm-hmm. You can plant trees in northern Quebec, but you're a second-class citizen there. Your children cannot go to an English school. So we're controlling how your children think. And we figured it out.
I think when it comes to resource, I have noticed just in my lifetime that it seemed like every single time I would upgrade, I'd get a better job and it would lead to more money or this or that. That every time I looked at the material pricing around me, right, I could never outpace it. I could just never quite get in front of that, you know what I mean? And be like, oh, if you're making 20 bucks an hour, man, if I can get to that $30 an hour,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I'd really get ahead of this. And by the time you'd reach that goal, you'd be like, I'm not getting ahead of this though.
Yeah.
This is a fucking mess.
Well, that's why you had to do those night shifts.
Yeah, well, that's why I did whatever I needed to do to get ahead. You know what I mean? And
I wish these young people realize too that if you want to make money, have babies. It puts a fire under your ass.
Oh, yeah.
And the next thing you know, you're fucking
and you got skills and everything else because by necessity. But there's another reason for that too. The other reason is that there's a social status with having a family that other men have a lot of respect for. And you're a really safe bet for a person who's hiring if you have a family because you probably won't leave. You need your income.
Oh, right.
You need your income. And so you're going to show up every day so that you can support your wife and your kids. You become a much safer bet. You can't just pack up and move the next day. And you have a higher social status. So much more likely to hire you if you have a family because they know that you're going to show up because you need the money. And you're probably going to do a good job and try to work your way up because that's your option.
And you're going to get in shit with your wife if you get fired.
Right, you're going to get fucked up.
Impressed.
You're a much safer bet. The turnover rate for married men, much lower than the turnover rate for single guys. Single guys can be like, well, I want to be a railroad worker now. Goodbye. You know what I mean? I'm going to go work on an oil rig. See you later, office job.
I met a pretty girl and she's going back to Ohio.
Right.
So
I'm gone.
with her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's also the social status end of it too. Society, generally speaking, not everybody, but generally speaking, society treats men with a family a little bit better than men who don't have a family.
It's just a better vibe.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to push.
More trustworthy.
With my show, and that's what I wrote a book about, Death of Cool. I was like, I get it, party years, awesome. But you started stealing liquor from your parents when you were 14. You're 24 now, that's 10 years of decadence. Time to close that chapter and start your real life. And then once you get married and have kids, you're like, I wasn't even a person.
I was a fucking degenerate scumbag.
I didn't exist.
Yeah.
I'm born now.
Yep.
I'm starting an actual life now.
But imagine what it used to be like for people when they were getting married, 18, 19, 20, and that was common. You know what I mean? They didn't really have time for the degen years.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was real. It was fun. It wasn't real fun.
Yeah, it was just real.
It was retarded.
It's just real.
All right. How are you doing for money these days?
We get by. We're not, to say that the various algorithms on like YouTube and the places where we mostly do our show, The Crucible, they don't like us at all. And so, yeah, that's tough, but we're able to go on shows like this and advertise, and get out to new audiences and then bring our audience over to that show. So that's pretty helpful. But I mean, as far as cash flow goes, like we're definitely not rolling in it, you know what I mean? But we're doing okay. And okay is okay enough for right now.
Right. You're not doing as well as Destiny.
No, we're not raking in millions of dollars a year, no. Playing video games and letting people fuck our wives,
it's
unfortunately.
It's funny that we spend so much of the show talking about meritocracy, and then you have a dork like him making millions being a boob.
Yeah, being a complete degenerate coomer fuck. Well, the thing is like, and what they do, if they don't like you, if that like whole Destiny crew, because he has minions and everything else or other creators, they'll mass flag your channel off the internet, mass report you, they'll mass report you to payment providers, they'll dox you, they'll do whatever they need to do to stay on top. They don't give a shit.
It's Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, it's totally Revenge of the fucking Nerds. And the algorithm, if you just type in Destiny's #Destiny, inside of the YouTube algorithm, because you're reacting to a video, it instantly picks the video up.
Oh,
right?
really?
Instantly picks it up, because they're pushing this fucking
the
coomer.
People actually work at Google and YouTube. They're fat losers who resent any kind of, alpha anything. And they want revenge. And they're trans and they're hideous and they're in there controlling the American conversation. And so much of them, and this is true of a lot of the left, is just spite. I've always said that's the gas that powers their engine, is this.
Well, they fucking hate me.
overwhelming
I mean,
spite.
I've tangled with Destiny. I've probably debated this guy 7-8 times. Crushed him many, many times because he's a fucking idiot. You ever want to know how to beat Destiny in a debate, for all of you out there who are aspiring debaters, just ask him to repeat what he just said.
Really?
He can't do it. Because he's on Vyvanse and he has meth mouth. If you ask him to just repeat back what he just got done doing, he can't. He can't even repeat his last argument.
Because his head is zipping his Adderall.
Yeah, his mouth is moving, right? Because his jaw isn't hinged. It looks like the, have you ever, remember the old Godzilla movies? Uh-huh. You know how the lip sync was never synced up correctly? So it'd be like, look, it's Godzilla.
That's what he
right?
does.
That's what he does, except his jaw just hinges. So, so he's like, well, actually, due to the economic status of the... And you're like, dude, all you got to do is say, can you repeat your argument back so I make sure I get it correct? And he'll make a completely new argument because he can't remember what he just said 5 minutes ago because of the fucking Vyvanse that he's on.
That whole generation is tweaked out on fucking speed.
But they're all that way.
Watching porn, fucking making millions, being retarded. But at the same time, I talk to a lot of them and they really have their heads screwed on right. So I don't know how I feel about Zoomers. They're doomed and smart at the same time.
For me, it's like, I wonder about this generation alpha. That's what's going to be interesting to me. Because the decadence by the time the Zoomers are having family and having kids is going to be like through the fucking roof. The kind of decadence where you walk in and you go, like half the people in the room are trans. Maybe a guy is sucking another guy off over here in this corner.
Right,
you know
like
what I mean?
Weimar Republic.
Yeah, it's going to be like insane. And then I'm just like, maybe Generation Alpha is going to be way more base than you think. They're just going to be a little bit more awesome than anybody could have predicted.
Yeah, I think so. I see it in their comedy. They seem to be slightly more advanced than everyone else. All right, well, it was great talking to you, buddy.
You too, man. Really appreciate it.
And to everyone at home, go fuck yourself.
Also, you can find me over on The Crucible on YouTube if you're so inclined to go.
That's right here below.
I really appreciate Gavin having me on. I appreciate censored.tv for those of you in the Crucible crew who are watching. And we'll put this out as well. Make sure you go over to Censored and become a member over here as well.
Right on.
Appreciate it.
So, if you enjoyed that clip,
Then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.